going on, guys? It's your girl, Mikhail Rose, and welcome to Iconics Radio. I'm so lit today because I have a queen in my presence, hunty. Period. It's about to, y'all gonna have so much fun today. I have the one and only, all the way from Jersey, guys. My girl. Girl, they going crazy. Stop. Don't do that. Don't you throw that up here. Eisani. Oh my gosh. This is going to be so good. I can't wait to get into this interview because there's so much that I want to know about you as an MC, as a femc. And I say that very strongly and boldly because I don't say that a lot. Actually, I barely ever say that these days. It's the meaning that go behind that. So thank you for gracing us with your presence. How are you feeling, girl?
Thank you for having me. I'm feeling excellent.
That was a hell of an intro, right? I know,
excellent.
Girl. Look.
Excellent. I'm ready.
Recording artist, Eisani. Now, y'all just had the takeover recently on Iconics Radio. Right. Girl, 2 days straight back to back.
Oh, I was
2,
ecstatic.
4, 6, 8, 10, and 12.
I was ecstatic.
Oh,
told everybody.
Look at, and they was tuning in, so we was looking at the analytics like, yo,
that's what we like.
Jersey,
support your queen.
Look, Jersey,
you goddess.
I love your accent, girl. You're here in Houston, Texas, but you work globally. Like you always moving around.
On the move, yeah.
As a recording artist, because you do a lot, but as a recording artist, who are some of the artists that you've looked up to?
Oh, well, Lauryn Hill is always going to have a special place in my heart. That's my mother. She don't know it yet, but when we meet, I'm going to let her know that she gave birth to me too.
Lauren, okay.
Yeah, that's my mother. So just so everybody knows,
it's not just
mama.
Zion. It's Eisani and Zion.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm with all of them. And Stella and the rest of them. Like, whoever else she got, it's because I'm one of them too. I'm mixed up in there in the siblings.
You in there? Okay, I know that's right. Lauryn Hill.
So Lauryn Hill will always have a special place in my heart. Charlie Baltimore, Rod Digger, Remy Ma. Of course, MC Light, Eve.
I'm so excited, y'all. Because it feels good to be sitting here talking to a real MC.
I mean, I can keep going. Jean Grey, Canary Diamonds.
Look.
Even Nicki Minaj. Like, I
love
me some Nicki, yeah.
Period. I want to say that just for Nicki, Nicki, you know how they talk about icons. And I believe that an icon is an artist or someone who grows with generations. Like, limitless, without question, they grow. So the people that you are naming, that you've named, are true icons. Your music actually makes some noise because you spitting like on the same level as these femcs.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm so sorry. Rappers. Now let's break down what is a femc. Let's bring it back for the babies in the back. Yeah, I'm moving too fast. I'm just like, girl, let's get it. So you have rappers. You got freestylists, whatever. But then you have an MC. You got a femc. What's the difference between a rapper and a femc?
So when you get into conversations like this, the important thing that people need to know is the foundation. And the foundation is that hip-hop is a culture. So within hip-hop culture, there were authentic elements that were all part of the actual hip-hop culture, which MCing is one of them. So MCing in and of itself doesn't have a gender. I think that because we are in a male-dominated industry, we had to come and bring that term out because as women that are on the mic spitting, we weren't getting as much notoriety, we weren't getting as much respect, and we just weren't getting as much attention, sales, shows, anything. So it's like within that realm of being an MC, we have femcs, like women who are really doing this for the culture, within the culture, furthering the culture. And so as long as people understand that, they'll have a good grasp on what it is. So then when you say so-and-so's not an MC, they're a rapper, well, the rap is the commercialization of our culture. Rap is owned by corporate America. Hip-hop is owned by the culture, by the people. That's the difference.
Thank y'all for coming. That's the end of the interview. Damn. Yo, you just blew my mind. Because you're right. But I've never heard anybody say that. Especially in 2022. Especially ever. Wow. Okay. So how do you describe your work?
So I describe my work as a contribution to the hip hop culture. Like I'm an artist. I'm an artist. Like this is art. This is art in word. This is art in sound. Even when you see me, like you've seen me rehearse. So, I started incorporating like movement, dance, that's art and music. Like it's all encompassing. And even down to the way I dress, to the way I do my sets, to the way I stage my shows and everything. Like it's a totality of just art. So I describe my work as the contribution of art into the hip hop culture to further the culture for the people.
Damn, I don't even know what. Okay, so because this is very powerful, and I think if we talk to more artists as yourself, I think we would have a lot more respect and appreciate a lot more of what we're getting. Mm-hmm. What do you think the rap game is missing? What do you think the music industry is missing for femcs?
So the music industry is a small part of a greater entertainment industry, which are owned by corporations.
Okay.
Corporations are only designed to make money. So occasionally, it's almost like they're raising cattle. Like, how on like a cattle farm, they're raising cows for beef, right?
Right.
And so you have all these things like, okay, somebody gonna make some money. That's why you hear so many artists get signed and then nothing happens. They get signed, they record the album, get their budget and everything, get shelved. They get signed, come out, one hit wonder. They get signed, go past sophomore jinx. It's just all this stuff because they're just bringing us in like a herd of cattle, instead of having real, true respect for the culture and the art. So once in a while in that herd, you will have a true artist come through. Like I think a good, representation of that. I said Lauren earlier, Kendrick, J. Cole, like people like that who are just great minds within the culture that actually made it to, the corporate status, but were able to maintain the level of artistry.
Yes.
Everybody else is kind of just doing it on a money grab. Yes. And so when you're doing it on a money grab, you don't have as much respect for the art form. Like you might be telling your story, but you don't really have a true respect for the art form or for the culture because you're there for the money. And that's
without purpose.
Well, no, there's a purpose. Then the purpose is greed. So that's what people don't understand. But if you have, like I said, that's why I said we got to start with the foundation of it. Because if you have the foundation, you have proper understanding.
Facts. I totally, thank you.
No problem.
Somebody book this girl today, please. Because wow. Okay, so one thing I can say is like just based on the people that you mentioned, and then also before you got into this seat, I was listening. I was like, yo, she remind me of like a Queen Latifah, like. Period. You put me in the mindset of definitely a Lauryn Hill, but hands down an MC Light, because you are so Queen of Sheba. The single. Girl, you give me goosebumps because I talk to, and no disrespect to anybody that I've ever interviewed or anybody that's out there right now, but there's a difference when you have people that you look up to and you can embody and still have your own lane and creativity of the culture.
Absolutely. I know exactly what you mean.
Deliver. Queen of Sheba, that is a single.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's talk about that.
Okay.
Queen of Sheba.
So Queen of Sheba came. So this album that I'm coming out with, got us on the record. It initially started as a different project.
Okay.
Like with a different name. It was going in a different direction. And then Queen of Sheba was one of those tracks that really solidified what the project was about. Because, you have a song on the album or a few songs on the album that really give you the whole embodiment of what the album is about. Yeah. And so for Queen of Sheba, I grew up Hebrew Israelite, and I also have family that are Muslim. And so, we study the Abrahamic texts and, just the stories and everything. So as a very young child, I just remember being taught about Queen of Sheba and how she came from Nubia, Sheba, that's the ancient name for Nubia, to meet King Solomon. And she brought all the, you know, the gold, the camels, the, you know, fine linens. Like, she brought all these riches so that she could meet the king of Israel to ask him questions, to gain wisdom from him. So I have that image in my mind from a child, and I kind of basically took on like, okay, that's my ancestor. I could definitely see that in me.
Wow.
Just the greatness of who she was. And then, you know, if you actually study, you know, African history from the continent and learn about, you know, just the area of Saba, aka Sheba, and Nubia, Kemet, Kush, you know, all those areas.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's not all of our greatness, because I know a lot of people get hung up on like ancient Egypt. That's not all of our greatness. Our greatness is across the whole continent, but just you really see yourself in history, and it gives you a different view of who you are as a person, especially in the United States of America, where they just, you know, try to tear down our identity, you know, every chance they get through any means necessary. So that was the vision that I had in my head of myself ever since I was a little girl. And so it was like, you know, when I get on this track, I didn't even have a beat yet, and I started writing. I'm like, this is going to be, you know, this is going to be my track. This is yo. This is going to be one of those standout tracks for me.
When they say you was spitting, girl. Oh my God. Okay, so because I don't think and I really want to be honest and really vulnerable right now, because I don't think that most people understand the passion that you have behind your craft. Like, you can tell, like, you legit live hip-hop.
I believe that.
You live hip-hop. From the bangles, baby, to the cap, to the fit. I was like, yo, she is. And you're always about your business. I've always, since the first day, even before I even got a chance to hear your voice, like, you was texting me like, yo, this is like, and I was like, oh, okay. Hello. This is what I got. And thank you, because you recently you styled me for one of my projects, and I mean, so you're a jack of all trades, honey, and you good at what you do.
Thank you.
And you deliver on go.
Thank you.
Queen of Sheba, the single. You write. You write your own music.
Yes, ma'am.
Why is that important as an artist?
I think as an artist, it's always important to be able to tell your own story, just in general. Okay. I think it gets further honed in for females, because there's always this misconception that women don't write their own songs. Okay. So I think that it's even more important for us to be writers, and to have that presence and hold that space.
I love that. I know you mentioned earlier that, growing up, you studied, you were given a lot of different wisdom and knowledge. Other than that, what was it like for you growing up? Like what was little Eisani like?
Well, there's a duality in me growing up. Because one thing that I think people don't know is that, my childhood is plagued with tragedies. The opposite end of that is that, I was raised by like a lot of elders. My father always made sure I knew who I was. Wow. I remember being a little girl, he'd take me to see Alvin Ailey Dance Theater, which if you know about art, if you know, you know. But he was also an avid hip-hop fan. So, like, I remember my father's favorite MC was Jay-Z, and I mean, like, young Jay-Z.
Young Jay-Z.
Young, like, Jay-Z and Jazz-O. Like, because my father was young in the 80s, so I'm talking about way back, like, Hawaiian Sophie Jay-Z.
Oh, wow.
And then I remember my mother's favorite MCs being Busta Rhymes and Missy Elliott. So I was raised by a lot of elders. My godmother, she is Nigerian, so she had a lot of kids, and she would always take me, my foster siblings, my cousins, all with her kids, and we would do like the open air markets, and it was a lot of elders back then. And I'm from the East Coast, so I remember lectures from like John Henrik Clark, and Dr. Ben, and people like that. Like, they were living Francis Quest Welsing. They was living in the early 90s when I was a kid. So they would, have the open air markets, the lectures, the shows, the showcases. It was the East Coast, so, hip hop manifested different than it did in other areas. So, like, I remember, like, real MCs and, like, brothers and sisters going at it, like, battles. all that. And then, especially on my father's side, like it was really important that, we knew our culture and that culture was maintained through me, my cousins, even my sister. My sister lives overseas. She's in Europe. But, all of us just, always knowing, being grounded and rooted in who we were, just how to behave in society. We got taught early on about, like, racism, white supremacy, white privilege, things like that. Like, so I just had a different upbringing than I think a lot of people did. And so it was rooted in me. And so that's kind of what I grew up to manifest is like that whole lifestyle. I did all the African fashion shows, all the West Indian carnival events. You'll see pictures of me like in my traditional like carnival outfits, like just everything. I did everything for years and years and years. I'm just sitting here like just going through your. I'm literally going through like your childhood with you, and I'm like, train up a child in the way you should go, and when it's only like they won't depart from it, because you're like even looking at like your style now, as a femc MC, you still maintain delivery in your fashion as well as on the mic. Now let's talk about team, because team is very important all around the board. Who's on your team? So right now, my label is Classic Records. What's up to Classic? I love my label. Those are my guys.
Yes.
Capital has been an integral part of helping me grow in this stage of my career. Like, of course, there was plenty, stages before, this current era, but, he's definitely been an integral part of me growing as an artist, entertainer, and performer in this stage in my life.
Cap look like he don't play.
Yeah, he don't.
Yeah. Cap,
One time I told him in Lafayette, I did a show and I performed, and I was like, that was my first time performing.
Yeah.
I think in Houston. Yeah, in Houston. And I told the audience, once I finished, because everybody was like, wow, you did good. And I'm like, yeah, that's because Capitol and Lafayette is like Ike. It's like Ike and Joe Jackson.
No lie.
They are.
but here's the thing. You recently won an award.
Yes, ma'am.
Nominated, dance, you won, period. And performed.
Yeah.
Like all in the same night. So congratulations.
Thank you.
And first of all, you coming from Jersey, taking Houston awards and go like, I'm like, first of all, wait a minute. And then you had your background dancers, like you were amazing. Congratulations, girl. You was like,
thank you. I love that show. Like, I keep looking at that footage like, yeah,
it was crazy.
This is live. Yeah, like I feel like a real artist now.
And you are. I want to go a little bit deeper. But we only have a few more minutes, guys. To the artists that are out there, the creators that are out there, what words of advice would you like to give to them?
The word of advice that I always give to people is just be yourself and be true to you, whatever you got going on and what you want to do. Like, don't sacrifice for what another person wants to do, especially if they're trying to do it through you or to you.
Yeah.
Just stay true to your own self, stay on your own path, and just do what you need to do. That would be my word of advice for any artist or creator.
Thank you so much. Oh my God, I don't want you to go. Okay. So to finish this thing off, I gotta ask this question though. Your name, Eisani, what does it mean? What does it stand for?
So Eisani is my Hebrew name, and it's a variation of a Hebraic word meaning perfection.
And that you are. Wow. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, Eisani, we're gonna play a game. Where can people find you?
The easiest way to find me cross-platform on social media is on my Instagram. That's at Eisani Renee. That's EISANIRENEE. If you go to my bio, there's a link tree, and it'll show you how to get to my Apple Music, my Spotify, my title artist page. It has my website, my EPK,
period.
Twitter, Facebook, Vimeo, YouTube, everything. And just just go down the tabs and just add, subscribe, friend, all that, follow everything. Just do all that.
Every single tab.
One at a time.
Because she's also a businesswoman. She's also a businesswoman too. And we're going to find out more about that in just a moment. Eisani is in the building, guys, and we about to play a little game. I love games. Okay, so Queen, I'm going to ask you some questions.
Okay.
And then you can give me the right answer, and then we'll see how this goes.
Okay.
Okay, let's do it. All right. So, first question.
Okay.
What fashion was first popular in the 70s and returned in the 90s? We gonna start over again because I was supposed to do. I was like, what the? Okay. So I'll.
I like how we both
looked at him like, if
because
you
when she
don't
started reading, I thought she was being funny. Like, what? He found another fashion question just
listen. we gonna do all this over again.
His face is classic though.
Girl, ain't nobody worried about him. Okay, here we go. I love you though. Okay, we're gonna start over. Okay, here we go. Okay, guys. So now we're gonna play a game. Are you ready?
As long as it ain't one of those jigsaw, saw 1, 2, 3 games, I'm good.
I like scary movies, but jigsaw is not my friend.
Yeah, I don't want to play those type of games.
The little tricycle with the big head and the little. I was like, stop, please.
I don't play games like that.
No, that's right. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you some questions, give you some options, and you just give me the right answer.
Okay,
Let's go for it. Here we go. First question is, which of these hairstyles was popular in the 90s? Okay. A, mohawk, B, the quiff, or C, curtained hair? You know when they did? I couldn't do that.
I don't even know what that middle one is.
The quiff, me neither.
How do you spell it?
See, here she go. Q-U-I-F-F.
Nah, I ain't never
I don't know. I haven't heard that either. We're going to Google that later. We better not do it, though.
And watch that be the answer. See, I don't know what a quiff is, because that's why I'm like.
Or the mohawk.
I'm feeling mohawk is more 80s, though.
Or the curtained hair.
I don't know what that is either, honestly. Are these European hairstyles?
Girl.
Because these wasn't on black women. Now, if you had said dookie braids, then that would have been the answer.
You know.
As a matter of fact, that's my answer. Dookie braids.
Dookie braids.
Janet Jackson, Poetic Justice.
But the closest one you can think of.
I'm going to have to say mohawk, only because I don't know what the
everything. It was curtain hair. I think the curtain hair was the one, like, they flipped,
That's what you call that?
I think
like
so,
for BAPS? Like that?
Ooh. Look. Okay. What year was Forrest Gump released? A, 1995, B, 1994, or C, 1998?
I want to say 95. I'm feeling like that's a little bit older.
95, that's okay. We're going to keep going, though.
That's good. See, he was trying to be funny.
He was trying to be funny. I do believe. Oh, okay. You know what? I'm gonna sit up for this one. I know you got this one. Trying to be mean. What popular fashion trend was big in the 90s? Mm-hmm. A, the hipster. Mm-hmm. B, grunge. Or C, vintage.
90s is definitely a grunge era.
Period. Look. Don't mess with her. Don't play with her either.
Hipsters were more popular in the 70s. And then what was the last one?
Vintage.
Well, vintage is always not popular, but always pull offable. So
pull offable. I like that. Okay. Oh, I love this one. My favorite show. How many seasons of The Golden Girls are there? A, 8, B, 5, or C, 7?
I have no idea. I'm not a Golden Girls fan. This stack is culturally biased.
Oh my God. What you got?
I'm gonna say 8 because I feel like it was popular.
It was 7. That's
well,
okay.
that's close enough.
Look, she was like, "Look, we're gonna take that 7
was a
though."
damn good ass guess for somebody that never watched it.
Okay, last one, and I know you got this. Here we go. There were several Disney films released in the 90s.
Okay.
Which movie is not a Walt Disney release?
Okay.
A, Anastasia. B, James and the Giant Peach. Or C, Muppet Treasure Islands.
What's the answer?
Lifeline. So you have Anastasia, James and the Giant Peach, or Muppet Treasure Island. Now, which one of these are not a Walt Disney release?
I do too. That's why I'm like, I don't know. I'll take it.
Anastasia.
I felt like that was the
Yeah,
answer.
it was Anastasia. No, because the Muppet was Muppet is Disney, right? Yeah. Walt Disney. ABC. Well, here we go, guys.
We're going to fight.
We're going to fight later.
Because you did that on purpose.
You better watch out, Jersey calling you out, Detroit.
Yeah.
Look.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
About the celebrity death match. He tried to play me with these culturally biased 90s questions geared towards.
Oh, my goodness. Listen, let me first look, before we finish off this interview, let me just say that your outfit is off the chain.
Thank you.
Your shirt says what?
I am not a rapper.
Oh my God, and I did not realize that until give me some, sis. The queen of Sheba is here, guys. The one and only Miss, the beautiful Eisani. Thank you so much for coming and gracing us with your beautiful, beautiful, beautiful work. Your presence, your energy. I just learned so much. I learned so much from you today, and I appreciate you, everything that you're bringing to the culture and for the culture.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me. Thank you. It's a blessing to be here.
Jersey, stand up.
All the way up.
All the way up. It's your girl, Mikara Rose, the beautiful Eisani, guys. We have the wonderful Chanel Cole Chanel. Pick one, guess one. We'll be right back, guys. See you in a minute.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Chanel, and we are here with Miss Eisani.
Hello.
Jersey, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. Okay, so we're gonna jump straight into it. Who is Eisani? Let's just give like a brief 1-2.
As far as what?
As far as what do you do?
So I'm a recording artist. I also own a wardrobe styling company.
Come on, stylist.
And I'm a marketing professional.
Okay, so it sounds like a bunch of entrepreneurship going on.
A little bit.
All right, so let's start off with you being a stylist. Why fashion?
So I was kind of always just a lover of clothes. When I got into college, I went to Rutgers and I started styling as a way to kind of offset my tuition costs.
Oh, make some money. Okay, I hear that.
And I ended up working with some people that were just really rooted in the industry, particularly in New York. One of my homegirls was doing hair for some of the women on Love and Hip Hop. Okay. So I was working with her. And then she linked up with a photographer that was working with modeling agency. So I was doing a lot of work with models and reality TV show people. And then because I MC, you know, I knew a lot of other artists. So I kind of branched out into people who were doing their own music videos or photo shoots. And it just kind of stuck.
Right. Okay. So with the transformation, you came to Houston, right? You're here now, stationed here now.
Yeah, I live here now.
So with switching over to Houston, what was that like for you as far as a stylist?
It actually wasn't that hard. I used to be a professional model in college as well.
Okay.
So I've worked here doing print work and fashion show work in Houston. In the 2010s, I was here a few times working with some photographers in the area, and I would do styling stuff on the side if I was in town for a show or for a shoot. Also did some work in Dallas as well. So it wasn't like, oh, I'm just coming to Houston and I don't know anything about Houston. I mean,
people here already.
Yeah, I knew a few people,
yeah,
and I had did some work. So, you know, and a few of those people I stayed in contact with over the years. So, you know, I had a handful of people,
right? Okay,
you know, that I could, you know, kind of help me get anchored here,
right.
which they did.
Okay, so
which I'm grateful for.
Amen. So as far as like your style, first of all, can we get into the fit? Can we get into the fit real quick? Just a little, if we could do like a little spin or something, just get into it. Cause baby, the leggings, everything is giving, honey. Stop playing. Yes, ma'am. Look, what did it say? I am not a rapper. You hear her? Okay.
I'm not a rapper.
Amen. So as far as your style, like how would you describe your style?
So my style has evolved. When I was like in middle school, I think that's when I first really got into hip hop. I was so tomboyish, but I was more like an Aaliyah type of tomboy. So I would do like the little baby tee with the baggy, sweats or whatever. So I kind of, made it a little bit more ladylike. It's definitely hip hop, culturally inspired.
Okay.
My family and the community I grew up around is Pan-African, so a lot of West Indian pieces in my wardrobe, and of course, different things that are, geared more towards, West Indian people.
Yeah. So it's kind of like
a culture
very
clash.
Very much culture.
Yeah.
So this is
very
art
culture,
for you.
Yeah.
Amen. I feel that. Okay.
Wearable art, most definitely.
Okay, so as a stylist, I know firsthand how stressful it can be. Like how can you handle, or how do you usually handle the pressure of maybe someone not liking what you have, or
so I don't take that stuff personally. When you're styling somebody, what I always tell, especially young stylists, and not just wardrobe stylists, like fashion designers, different people who are going to be working with clients, hair and makeup, is that you really have to learn your client.
Right.
Even if you only got like a brief moment to kind of just get an overview of who they are as a person, so that you can kind of gear what you're doing towards what they want.
Yeah, right.
So I always tell people, if you start off there, you're starting off good. And all you can do from that point is just present options. It's like, okay, so based on what you told me, this is what I pulled, this is what I have. Okay, that works. Okay, great. That's not working. Okay, let's try something else. And as a stylist, you got to come in with multiple fits. So you should never show up with like 3 outfits and they ask for 3 outfits. And then, you get there and then they don't like none of the outfits like that.
Have you ever been in a situation like that?
No.
Well, not necessarily not being prepared, but just having a situation to where it's like a very tough client, to where it's just like they just don't, maybe they style didn't align with yours.
So no, because what I do is I take myself out of the styling. Like, I mean, as an artist, you always want to have a piece of yourself.
Right.
So there are trademarks to my styling that don't have to be urban, don't have to be cultural, don't have to be hip hop.
Right.
So one thing that I do, I mix prints a lot. So if I have a client that like is totally not urban, not hip hop, not into African, West Indian, nothing, ain't trying to do none of that. Okay, let's see if we can mix this size houndstooth with a bigger size houndstooth. Let's see if we can do mixed stripes. Let's see if we can do some color blocking. Like, there's certain things that are signature to my style that, can translate outside of what my personal style is.
Yeah.
So that's how I put my signature on it, so that you could tell, okay, Eisani styled this.
Right. I love it.
So what I usually do, I don't really say that they're difficult clients. Sometimes you just have people that don't really understand. So you have people that are not into fashion, and it's just like, okay, I know I need to wear some stuff, but I don't know, and I know what I don't like. You got those people. So it's like, okay, well, let's talk about what you don't like. Okay. And let's start working with more towards what you do like. Now, once we get to what you do like, what are you willing to open up and try?
Right.
To kind of push yourself, especially if it's like a recording artist, you got to push the envelope. So what are you willing to try that's going to be something that is taking you over the edge, so that it's not just a plain basic photo shoot, but something that's really going to be standout press photos, standout album cover, standout magazine cover. Yeah. Because you really got to do that as a recording artist. So that's kind of how I work with people who are like that. Now, you do have people that are really strict about what they like too. Right. Like, it's like, I only want to wear stuff that's going to show my body. Okay, cool. Let's see how we could take that and do it differently than what you've been doing, so that you don't always look the same. Okay. So let's say you like to show your body, but you always in like a black or a gray or a navy bodysuit with some leggings. Right. Okay, well, why don't we try something bright red? Let's do a different cut of a bodysuit. Instead of you having something with straps, let's do something like this and maybe have a piece that's coming off.
Look, she got it all together, y'all. She got it all together.
I did really just go on a tangent, but
you really got it all together. I'm listening and jotting notes in my head, because that's a lot. I know it is. But just hearing you speak about that, it sounds like you really do this production thing as well. And I was doing a little digging, and I see that you're also a creative director as well.
Yeah, I do some creative direction.
So tell us a little bit about that. Like, what type of clientele do you go for usually with the creative direction?
So creative direction is tricky because when I creative direct. So that means that I am the person that is basically managing the whole creative team. So I'm managing the art director, which is usually in charge of like your graphics and things like that. I'm managing the fashion designer or the wardrobe stylist, or a combination of both, depending on what the project is. I'm managing the people that's doing the set design and the prop styling.
Right.
So I only work with big budget clients because that's a lot of work, and I don't ask anybody to come and work on a project with me for free. So not only do you have to pay me for the time and labor, you have to pay my staff as well, and you have to be willing to pay for quality work because I don't half-ass anything, and I'm not paying people to half-ass anything. Like whatever you say you want, that's what we're gonna deliver. So when you go into like my booking, like on my website and things, I do say that, you know, we start off at $5,000, and that's on the low end.
$5,000,
and that's
low
extremely
end.
low.
Look,
and that's like
come correct
shoestring budget. So you might get me and two others for $5,000 to deliver whatever you're trying to do.
And with that, I know you have a business. I don't want to pronounce the name incorrectly, but is it Lion Questnior?
So I have two businesses. The creative director and wardrobe styling I do under Aesthetic Alchemy.
Okay.
That's my primary entrepreneurial pursuit. Lioness Noir is a production company that's credited to me. It's not active right now.
Okay.
Because I'm not actively pursuing production.
Okay.
I graduated from Rutgers for film. I worked on several music videos, short films, and other projects. I'm just not doing production right now because it's a lot, and I'm doing a lot, and I can't do both.
Right. So now you just focusing on just you as an entrepreneur and getting on set.
Primarily music, and then doing styling when I have clients.
Okay. So also you have another business because I've known you to be a business owner of 3. Mm-hmm. So there
was another business. It's no longer in business.
The
House of Sekhmet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Well, look, let me speed on past that then. Okay. So tell me something that motivates you as a creative. So what's something that keeps you going at those tough times when, like things like COVID hit or, things aren't just really picking up too much as styling or directing? What's something that motivates you?
So I'm motivated a lot within my own head space. I kind of just can't help but to create. So even when I get in those moments of like, I'm there's a lot of setbacks, which happens a lot when you're an artist. Or, there's just a lot of challenges to where like a project isn't moving. I kind of just start thinking about other stuff to do and kind of end up just doing this other stuff. And then either these other things will come back into the fold and come into the completion, or they won't, or whatever happens. But there's just always a steady stream of creativity just flowing from my brain.
Baby, that's just me. It's just me. I wake up like this.
Okay. So sadly, I can't give anybody advice on how to be like that because I don't know. I wish I could turn it off sometimes because it does get annoying because everything costs money.
Not annoying. No, I feel that. Look, this is not free. Okay. So then, how would you say you juggle being an MC and being so deeply rooted into, what that stands for you, and also being a stylist? How would you, what tips could you give to say how to juggle those two things? Because they're very different.
One of the primary things that I've learned to do, and, people have told me throughout my path that I need to, and I wasn't doing such a good job on it, like, fresh out of college or, in like my early to mid 20s. But something that I've really been focusing on these last few years is separating. So, like, if I'm here to do music, that's what I'm here to do.
Okay.
If you want to be my client, then we can talk about that, schedule time. That's why I have, like, a whole system of how I do my booking and track everything for my wardrobe styling company. Mm-hmm. Because you do got to keep it separate because, number one, people get confused. And then if they get confused, you start having all this bleed over and, you do this, you do that. And I'm not one for confusion. I'm one for organization. So we need to. Now, there are people who know me for both. Mm-hmm. And so what I do with those people is say, okay, even though you know me for both, this is the process for the music. This is the process for the styling.
Right. Okay. So
and people have been pretty good about respecting that.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense then. Okay, so my last question is, let's see, how could I ask this? as a creative, right?
Mm-hmm.
For young entrepreneurs and young creatives, what is one of the key ways you feel like for them to promote themselves, like cross branding on social media?
Okay, so this is where people start not to like me, because I'm a marketing, so like I'm a marketing director,
Right.
At my day job. So, and I've been in marketing for over 10 years now.
Right.
And I always tell people, if you have a budget, 50% of your budget needs to go to marketing. You need
50?
to make 50. You need to make sure that you are seen, heard, and engaged with.
Right.
And that's not easy. People who are not working with a budget, sadly, you're going to have to spend a lot of time. So that's going to be 50% of the overall time that you're spending on whatever this is that you're doing is going to have to be spent to marketing if you can't outsource it,
right.
or, pay for something, because you have to be on these social media sites. You have to have a website.
Right.
If you're selling anything, I don't care what it is, you have to have a methodology where people can pay you and process payments professionally. I don't care if Cash App, Zelle, whatever, PayPal,
right.
all of that stuff, especially if you're trying to set something up, like even if it's something as simple as Etsy. You have to have a process of doing your payments. You have to present yourself out there in a professional way so that people take you seriously.
That's the part
you
that
have
people
to have your pictures, you have to have your videos, you have to have content, you have to be consistent.
Right.
You have to be seen, you have to be heard, and I mean up to and including even getting radio ads, TV spots, if you do a little commercial or something, billboards. Some cities still have like the bus stops where you can pay for the little, whatever you can do, pay for ads, like on other people's site, do affiliate marketing. Like affiliate marketing is really effective if you get with the right influencers. Right. So you're going to have to pay people. So yes, 50% of the budget. That's why I said this is where people start not liking me, because they want to skimp on the marketing because they have talent. A lot of people have talent.
Right.
And you're going to get lost in a sea of people that have talent if you're not willing to invest in your business.
That was deep. That was deep. I ain't gonna lie. That kind of hit me a little bit. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna have to get myself together a little bit on the marketing, because 50, I didn't think 50, but actually sitting back thinking about it, that does sound about right to stay ahead of the game.
Yeah,
sure.
To get yourself out there to a point where you're able to function as a business the way that most of us envision ourselves functioning. When spending 50% at the beginning is not like spending 50% in the middle. Once you get your return on investment and you see that you've made 10 grand, you could run your business off the 5 grand and then invest that other 5 grand, and you get that return on investment, and it's 50 grand that you have coming in. Okay, 25 grand. It doesn't sound so bad as you move up, but in order to move up, you have to invest in this business.
So basically just trust in the process as well.
And trust your journey.
That's so dope. Thank you so much for that. Let the people know where we can find you at for styling and creative directing and MCing. Let's just let them know.
All right. So, thank you for having me, first of all. So, for anything music, the best way to find me everywhere is on my Instagram. That's at Eisani Renee, EISANI RENEE. If you go on my bio, there is a link tree. You just go down the list, and everything and everywhere you can find me anywhere online is on that link tree. My wardrobe styling and creative directing business is called Aesthetic Alchemy. I never do this off the top of my head, so let's see if I can do it now. That is AE.
Oh, actually, look, I got a little cheat sheet. Hold on. Boop. There we go.
Yeah, there we go. See? Sisters working together. I love it. That's AESTHETIC, and that's alchemy with a K and not a C. So it's ALKHEMY. So that's at Aesthetic Alchemy. And if you click the link in the bio to that one, that'll take you straight to my website. I have downloadable forms that show you the process of how to get booked. I do discovery calls. Discovery calls is just when you tell me about your project and what you like done, and I can let you know what's realistic and what we can do, especially considering your budget. I do charge for consultations. Consultations are $50. You do have to have a consultation before we move forward. And then for any project, I do have to have a deposit. So, but all my processes and procedures are on the Instagram and on the website.
Hey, that's so dope. Thank you so much for coming and being the beautiful light that you are. And
thank you.
I wish you the best on your journey, and hopefully we'll work together soon.
Same.
Definitely. But it's Coach Chanel checking out again with Iconic Radio. Y'all be blessed.